Recording in progress.
Can't hear it.
Hello.
There's no audio on the news conference. No audio. Can we start over with audio?
Do they need to move this?
Okay. I know, but they can hear it via Zoom, so yes, I know.
Okay.
Ready?
Should be able to hear.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Good to go? All right. Thank you all for coming. I do apologize for the lateness of the advisory, but that couldn't be helped under the circumstances of this case, the timing that we have to abide by.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh.
This is an extraordinarily sad and tragic case. Since October the 1st, the day that Samantha Heather Woll was killed, there has been a painstaking, diligent, and tireless work done by the Detroit Police Department in my office, oftentimes around the clock, and I commend them for that. Every known lead, possible suspect, forensic submissions, and other investigative tools were employed and deployed consistently by the Detroit Police Department. This takes time, and for our part, we never want to rush to judgment. So today, I'm going to announce these charges. We have charged Michael Manuel Jackson Bolonis. Bolonis spelled B-O-L-A-N-O-S. He's 28 years old with the following offenses. Count 1, homicide, felony murder. That he did while in perpetration or attempted perpetration of a felony, of a larceny, and or a home invasion in the first degree, murder Samantha Heather Woll, contrary to the laws and statutes of the state of Michigan. Count 2, we have charged Mr. Bolonis that he broke and entered and did enter without permission a dwelling located at 1366 Joliet Place in Detroit, Michigan, and while entering, present in, or existing, did commit an assault, and while entering, present in, or existing the dwelling, Samantha Heather Woll was lawfully present therein. This was all done contrary to the laws and statutes of the people of the state of Michigan. And finally, count 3. We are charging this defendant with lying to a peace officer that after being informed by Patrick Lane or Stephen Ford of the Detroit Police Department that the officer was conducting a criminal investigation, that he did knowingly and willfully make a statement or statements to the officers that he knew were false and misleading regarding the following material fact or facts related to the investigation that was ongoing at that time, that he committed larcenies or attempted larcenies from motor vehicles on October the 21st, 2023. And that the officer was conducting a criminal investigation for larceny from a motor vehicle, contrary to the laws and statutes of the state of Michigan. Let me state very clearly, that's a 2-year high misdemeanor. There are no facts to suggest that this defendant knew Ms. Walls, and there are certainly no facts to suggest that this was a hate crime. The medical examiner determined that Ms. Walls' death was caused by multiple sharp force wounds with a straight edge cutting instrument. The manner of the death was homicide, and please remember that this defendant is presumed innocent unless until proven guilty. The defendant is currently being arraigned in the 36th District Court due to timing issues in this case. So I will take a few questions at this time, and hopefully I can answer some of them for you.
How can you rule out that this was not a hate crime?
Because none of the evidence suggests that. And again, this has been consistently investigated since October the 21st. And so there's not a shred of evidence that points to the fact that this was a hate crime.
Did this person act alone, or are you looking at other people in conjunction with this murder?
Anything that we talk about will come out in court when it's tried, either before a judge and jury or the preliminary examination.
Can you
Can we
please?
just walk? Did you say the name of the suspect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you repeat just a little bit of the beginning part?
Yes, his name is, it's a long one, Michael Jackson Bolanos, Bolanos. Michael Manuel Jackson Bolanos.
And you said he has no known relation to Samantha Woll.
No, the evidence did not point to any evidence that they knew each other.
And so this was an attempt at a break-in of some sort, or what exactly?
That is our theory.
Were any of the other homes targeted or cased? It was just at random. That was the unit he picked.
Any specific evidence will come out at the preliminary examination or a jury trial before Judge Chair.
Ms. Worthy, it's Sean from Channel 4 News. Can you hear me, ma'am?
I can.
Thank you. Can you reiterate the investigation into theft from autos and how that led to Bolanos, please?
Yes. What I can do is I'll read count 2 again. That really encapsulates everything that happened here. Again, this is that after being informed by Patrick Lane and or Stephen Ford of the Detroit Police Department that the officer was conducting a criminal investigation, that this defendant did knowingly and willfully make a statement or statements to the officers that he knew was false and misleading regarding the following material facts relating to the investigation. And here's what you want to know: that he committed larcenies and attempted larcenies from motor vehicles on October the 21st of 2023, and that the officer was conducting a criminal investigation for larceny from a motor vehicle.
And just to be clear, so I'm accurate, that is in the same neighborhood or same street as where Ms. Woll resides?
Yes, the same area as where Ms. Woll was living, yes.
As far as the suspect that was taken, or the person of interest taken into custody and released a while ago, that person has nothing to do with this current person?
The investigation shows that it was completely unrelated and that he is not the suspect in this case.
So this person acted alone, entirely just...
Again, those facts and details will come out in any kind of court of law. It's improper for me to talk about any further details.
Can you say which judge the person's being arraigned in front of?
Well, Judge McConaughey did the arraignments, and I'm not sure if it's the magistrate that's handling the rest of that now.
So the arraignment occurred already?
The arraignment is going on as we speak, yes. So we apologize that you weren't able to get over there and hear it. But again, we are under time constraints that we must adhere to by law.
Are you confident he acted alone?
That question's been asked now 3 times in 3 different ways, and I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm sorry, could you spell the last name one more time? I apologize.
Yes. Michael, regular spelling. Manuel, M-A-N-U-A-L, Jackson, common spelling, hyphen Bolanos, B-O-L-A-N-O-S.
Can you just talk about how throughout this investigation, this process, it's created some national attention here? I mean, what has it been like kind of going through this investigation, and what does it mean to be at this stage right now and having a suspect?
Well, again, this is something that's been ongoing since October the 21st. I've been at this for a long time. Investigations don't usually happen in the 44-minute legal procedural type TV shows. They take time, they take attention, they take energy, they take passion, they take experience. We look at every angle, not we, but police look at every angle they can, whether it's forensic evidence, other investigative tools that they use. It was painstaking cell phone work, all kinds of things that took a very long time in this case. There was an incredible amount of work that was done in the investigation phase of this case. It was not easy, but again, there was a lot to look at, and we want to make sure that we look at every single angle before we charge a defendant with a crime like this, with any crime, frankly.
Can you say how long this person has been on your radar or police radar?
I'm going to let the chief answer that.
Okay.
What's the age of the suspect?
28.
And is he from Detroit, or is he a Detroit resident?
He's from Detroit.
Before I get to the questions, I just want to first thank the prosecutor's office for their incredibly hard work and commitment to this case, as with other cases, but having this connectivity with the prosecutor's office as we've gone through this painstaking evidentiary process has been invaluable to get us to where we are right now. My thoughts, and certainly are with the family of Samantha Woll, her friends and her loved ones. She continues to be missed by many in our community, our city, our state, and I've heard from people around the country, to be candid. I want to thank our homicide investigators for their tenacity, their relentless pursuit of justice for this family, painstakingly going through just tons of evidence. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the Michigan State Police Crime Lab for their hours and hours and hours, 7 days a week, of getting us the evidence analyzed and back to us so that we could properly make an assessment of it and how we're going to use it in the course of our investigation. It helped us tremendously to have that work being done, and we would not be here without them. Again, the Michigan State Police Crime Lab, FBI, the FBI Behavioral Analyst Unit, the ATF as well. This is one of the most complex.
You're muted again. Wayne County, hello.
I apologize.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, this is a very complex case, and as the prosecutor has indicated, this is not a case that you can solve like on television, where you 30, 45 minutes into the storyline, you know who did what and how the case is going to end. We follow evidence. We don't follow rumor. We don't follow innuendo, opinion. We follow evidence. The Homicide Task Force, our homicide unit, the lieutenant over the Homicide Task Force who worked with the Michigan State Police, our lieutenant in homicide, and as well as the other team members did an amazing job. When I tell you hours and hours of evidence, hours and hours of video, phone work, 7 days a week, this is just a case that everyone has been committed to, and the work has been amazing. The offender was under constant, you asked a question about the offender earlier, when he came on our radar a few weeks ago. We continue to monitor him. As you know, he was investigated for larcenies, at which time, we kept him on our radar. He timed out. We released him. We didn't have enough to submit to the prosecutor's office. We're not going to rush this. We're not going to make mistakes. And we were methodical and tenacious in our investigation. Once he was released, we kept an eye on him, and I'm going to leave it there until we got enough to ultimately make the arrest.
Chief Sean Day at Channel 4. Couple quick questions, please. So, time of day. Chief, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, Chief. Chief,
Sorry, what's the question?
Channel 4. Yes, please. Couple quick questions before we hit the news here. What time of day or night were the larcenies taking place? And then approximately what time did he allegedly make entry into Ms. Woll's home?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the case. This will come out in court. We're giving you an overview of what led us to the arrest, but I can't get into the specifics of what led us to our investigation and the turns and twists of the investigation. Those matters will be discussed at the prelim as well as during the trial.
Are you able to say whether, I apologize if this was already asked, did he attempt to break into other homes? Do you know that yet, or can you share that at all?
I've already talked about what we're going to talk about with regards to his actions that led us to make his arrest.
It'll all come out, and I didn't mention this before, and I should have. I want to make it abundantly clear that we contacted the family prior to this press conference, and we explained to them what was going to happen and when. And we'll be meeting with them in the very near future to be more expansive with the family.
Can you comment on the criminal history of the suspect?
Absolutely not. I cannot.
I have a couple of quick clarification questions. Chief White, you had said that he was already on police's radar for larcenies. He had been apprehended for larcenies, and that's when you had, a hunch. He was released, kept an eye on him. That's correct. That's a correct description of what you had said.
Yeah, I'm having a little difficulty hearing you, so I'll go back over what I said. When he was initially on our radar, we identified him as someone in that particular area that we were curious about his actions. We were able to link him to a number of larcenies. And then when we brought him in on questioning on those larcenies, we got into some other parts of the investigation. Some concerns came up. With regards to him being released, he timed out. We released him, but he was still on our radar. We knew where he was. We knew his whereabouts. We knew his movements. At no time was anyone in our community at risk. We knew where he worked. We knew his phone traffic. We knew a number of things about him, and we were confident that if anything, his movements and if anything came up that we needed to act on, that we would be able to act on swiftly. Once we received the information that necessitated an arrest, or precipitated an arrest. We moved in within an hour and got him into custody without incident.
And this was a few weeks ago when he first came on your radar, is what you said.
Yeah, I don't have the precise date with me right now, but within the past 3 weeks.
Okay. And then one last clarification question. I'm so sorry. Was he on your radar separately for larceny or specifically to this investigation?
So that's where it gets a little bit muddy for us to talk about this right now. You'll get that information at the prelim and you'll get that during the trial. Obviously, there was something about what transpired in our conversations with him that was at the very least concerning to us, that allowed us to continue down the path of the investigation and start linking some other things to his actions and activities, which got us to where we are. And we're confident with our suspect that our suspect, unfortunately, is good for innocent until proven guilty, but good for this heinous act.
So, Chief, is this the same suspect as the original one that was taken into custody?
You mean the one that was taken into custody some time ago?
Yes.
No, this is not the same suspect.
Okay.
No,
Thank
not
you.
the same person, I should say. Let me just expand. I don't mean to be so brash with you. I always have to be concerned about the jury pool. I have to be concerned about judges that watch and monitor our actions as prosecutors. We have a very high ethical duty, higher than judges, higher than defense attorneys. We have a dual responsibility to make sure that not only we are representing the people of the state of Michigan, our victims and survivors, but also the defendant. We have rules that we must abide by to protect the defendant's rights as well. And one of the things we cannot do along that regard is mention if there is any kind of past history with the criminal justice system.
And he believed that you believe that he broke into the house and a confrontation occurred at that time. Is that
Again, I don't want to short shrift our theory of the case. We will be sending out an electronic copy of our press release that will give you some more detailed information. But again, I must insist that any evidence that comes out in this case or during this investigation happens in a court of law. We have to protect the integrity of the process.
Can you explain a little bit about what happened with that first suspect? You know, were you confident that it was him and then ended up being someone else? What kind of happened there?
Again, we have to investigate every avenue, even though we may think that we have the right person in custody, and we know that we do today. We have to investigate any and all suspects or persons of interest that may come forward. When we get information, the police must act on it. They must investigate. We don't want to leave any stone unturned, and that means we may have to look at other people, even if it's believed at the time that they're not the right one for this case. But the police are still going to do their due diligence and look at everyone and investigate whatever comes to light.
And I know this case was, gained national attention. How many tips did you get? How many people have been reaching out? Like, how inundated were you with the tips and information in this case?
Oh.
Yeah, again, I know you all have a lot of questions, and some will come out again. Some of the answers will come out during the preliminary examination. We got a lot of tips. We got a lot of information from the community. Like I always say, our community has been wonderful, and we have to investigate every single tip that comes in. So that we were inundated with tips and theories, and we had to run every single one down.
And can you say anything about the reaction from the family when you contact them, let them know that you had someone that you were charging in this case?
We contacted them, and again, I don't want to talk about any reactions. I think that would be disrespectful to them. Again, we're going to bring them in again and go into more detail, but we wanted to let them know that we would be having this press conference, that we had reached the charging decisions. We wanted them to find out before anyone else did. And I'm sure everybody can understand that.
Question for the chief. Are you confident that this investigation is over or almost over?
Well, I'm confident in our suspect. We're going to continue with all of our homicide investigations to any information that comes up. We're very confident in what we presented to the prosecutor's office, and we're very happy with the charging decision.
Thanks.
Just very quickly, if I could, for the chief. It had been stated that there was no forced entry at Miss Woll's home. Is that still believed to be true?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
All right, we'll take one more question.
What
I want to thank you. Oh,
what would be how is a crime determined to be a hate crime? What are the criteria?
Oh gosh, I don't want to muddy the situation here. We have a new statute that was just passed, and again, none of the elements of that statute can be met in this case. And again, there was absolutely no indication at any time during this investigation that this was or is or was a hate crime. It's just, the evidence is just not there. I want to thank everybody for coming. I apologize again for the short notice. It couldn't be helped in this particular case. You know that we usually try to give you at least a day's notice. And I want to thank you for coming. And I want to thank those of you on Zoom. I want to thank you for coming and thank you for your questions and for coming and being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.